Welcome back to Narrations, the channel where we retell classic movies in vivid detail. So whether you've seen them or not, you can relive the entire story. Today we're diving into one of the most iconic crime thrillers of all time, a movie built on mystery, deception, and one of cinema's most unforgettable twists. The Usual Suspects, 1995, directed by Bryan Singer and written by Christopher McQuarrie. The film begins in the dark of night at the San Pedro Bay in California. A massive explosion tears through a docked ship, leaving behind charred wreckage, dozens of dead men, and unanswered questions. Among the dead is a notorious Hungarian mobster, and hidden in the shadows, a badly wounded man whispers a single name with his last breath: Kaiser Söze. From here, the story unfolds like a puzzle, told in flashback through the eyes of Roger Verbal Kint, played by Kevin Spacey. Verbal is a small-time con man with cerebral palsy, timid and seemingly harmless, now being interrogated by U.S. Customs Agent Dave Cugin, Chaz Palminteri. The entire movie is structured around Verbal's testimony, as he recounts how he and 4 other criminals were brought together by fate, or perhaps by design. It all started 6 weeks earlier with a lineup. Dean Keaton, a former corrupt cop trying to go straight; Michael McManus, a hot-headed thief; Fred Finster, his eccentric partner; Todd Hockney, an explosives expert; and Verbal himself, the crippled con artist. They're hauled in on suspicion of hijacking a truck, but the charge doesn't stick. Still, the meeting sparks something: a new criminal crew. Together, the 5 men plot a series of jobs. At first, it seems straightforward: hijacking smugglers, stealing jewels, and undercutting powerful rivals. But as Verbal explains, something darker looms in the background. Their every move seems orchestrated, nudging them toward bigger, riskier jobs. Rumors swirl of a shadowy, almost mythical figure who controls vast criminal empires with fear: Kaiser Söze. Through Verbal's narration, we learn the legend. Söze is more than a man. He's a ghost story, whispered about in hushed tones. Years earlier, when rival gangsters tried to force him into submission, Söze made an unimaginable choice. He murdered his own family to show he could not be threatened, then annihilated his enemies, leaving no one alive to tell the tale. The message was clear: betray him, and you won't live to regret it. The crew's crimes escalate when a mysterious lawyer, Kobayashi, approaches them. He represents Söze, and he makes them an offer they cannot refuse: take on a dangerous mission in exchange for their lives. Their target? A ship supposedly carrying $91 million worth of cocaine, guarded by ruthless smugglers. The crew, reluctant but cornered, agrees. As Verbal continues, Cugin becomes increasingly frustrated. He suspects Dean Keaton is the true mastermind, the man who couldn't resist pulling one last job despite his claims of reform. Every detail of Verbal's story seems to point toward Keaton being Söze. The film builds toward its harrowing climax on the docks. The heist goes catastrophically wrong. Explosions tear through the ship, gunfire echoes in the night, and one by one, the crew is slaughtered. Verbal survives only because of his weakness, hiding in fear. He claims he saw Söze that night, a shadowy figure who killed without mercy, leaving no witnesses. Keaton, according to Verbal, was shot dead by Söze himself. Back in the interrogation room, Agent Cugin believes he has solved the puzzle. He presses Verbal with confidence, insisting that Keaton was Söze, manipulating everyone until his own greed destroyed him. Exhausted and defeated, Verbal signs his release papers and limps out of the station. And then, the twist. As Cugin sips his coffee, his eyes wander around the office, and realization dawns. Names, places, and details from Verbal's story weren't evidence at all. They were plucked from the bulletin board in front of him, woven into a convincing lie. Outside, Verbal's limp gradually straightens. His hand, once gnarled with a supposed disability, relaxes. He lights a cigarette with steady confidence, steps into a waiting car, and disappears. The chilling truth hits Cugin too late: Verbal Kint was Kaiser Söze all along. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And just like that, he's gone. The Usual Suspects remains a masterpiece of suspense, with its slow burn storytelling, unforgettable performances, and one of the most shocking reveals in movie history. It's a film that demands to be rewatched, because once you know the truth, every detail takes on new meaning. Thanks for joining us on Narrations. If you loved this retelling of The Usual Suspects, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more cinematic narrations. And if you haven't seen it yet, this is one mystery worth experiencing firsthand.